So I'll start. Today's topic is transcription. In transcription, we'll be reading about what is the process of transcription in prokaryotes, the transcription process in eukaryotes, the differences between them, and the post-transcriptional modification. These topics are the basics for your genetic study, information, and understanding. So if you don't understand it now, later on, as you move on to next batches, when you become second, third year, it will be very difficult for you, okay? And when you appear NEET exam, then it will be even more difficult. These are the foundation, please pay attention. So, transcription. Before, by now I think you know what is the DNA, right? All the genetic information is contained in the DNA. DNA has that, the master plan of the whole body. But do you know it is the RNA through which these master plans are executed? Like the government makes the policies, but the people on the ground make those policies happen. They execute those policies. In the same way, it is the RNA that takes that information, copies that information into itself and helps in protein synthesis. Okay, and these proteins are the ones that function in our body. So what is transcription then? Transcription is that process in which an RNA is synthesized from DNA. Okay? And during this process, the genetic information that is contained in the DNA get transferred or copied to the RNA. That's why it's important. So through transcription process, we have the formation of different types of RNAs like messenger RNA or mRNA, okay, which is the most important RNA for protein synthesis, directly linked to protein synthesis. Apart from that, tRNA or transfer RNA, rRNA or ribosomal RNA. But today we want to focus on mRNA, all right? So, as you go further into the slides, you would see that there are some similarities between replication, DNA replication, and transcription, in the sense that they all have the three, both of them have the three steps like initiation, elongation, okay, and termination. Both of them require RNA polymerase enzyme. But then again, they have a few differences. Like in case of transcription, we know RNA is synthesized, right? Ribonucleotides are used instead of deoxyribonucleotides. And in RNA, there is no thymine in RNA, there is uracil. So instead of A to T pairing, there will be A to U pairing, okay? There is no primer involved, there is no proofreading for RNA polymerase in transcription, and only portions of the genome or the information, genetic information is copied into the RNA. Not the whole genomic information of the whole body is not transferred at a time, only one segment of it is transferred, whatever is required at that point of time. So before going into the whole process of transcription, let's understand a few basic things. What is a gene? We know gene is a segment on the double-stranded DNA where we contain the genetic information. Wherever the genomic information is, that is called a gene, which is a segment of DNA. Ab jis strand mein the gene is present, that is called as the coding strand, because it has all of the information required that is required for the that to make a product, right? Whatever information is there, that is contained in one strand, and the another strand doesn't have that information. There are two strands in the DNA, right? So one strand has the information, has the gene, the other strand doesn't have. So the other strand is called non-coding strand. Now this non-coding strand is used by in transcription process to synthesize new RNA. Like, when you want to make an ice cream, you use a mold, right? In the same way, they also use this second strand or the non-coding strand as the mold to form the new RNA strand, like a template. Template has like the blueprint that you get, all the information is there, you just have to copy it, right? Or add something to it. That is why it is called as template strand. You would see over here, this is the two strands of the DNA. This is the coding strand containing the information. This is the non-coding strand or the template strand. and this is the new RNA strand that is being formed. So one thing to remember is that, you know, these two make pairs with each other, complementary base pairing. So A pairing with T, T with A, G with C, right? Like that, they are complementary to each other. What happens to the new RNA? Since it's using the template, this non-coding strand as the template strand, it will form complementary base pairing with this as well, right? So T ki jagah A, G ki jagah C, C ki jagah G. But the only difference here you will see is A is pairing with U. This should be T, right? But there is U because uracil, because it's RNA strand. That's the only difference here. So you would see from this example, this strand is complementary to the template strand and identical to the coding strand. Therefore, it gets the information from the DNA strand, except for the presence of uracil. That's the only difference. Now let's understand the difference of the RNA polymerase in prokaryotes. So this is prokaryotic RNA polymerase, okay? Or just polymerase. If I say just polymerase, also understand there is RNA polymerase. So this is the structure of RNA polymerase. You would see there are 5 subunits over here. Beta and beta prime, these are not identical, but they're similar. Then we have 2 alpha subunits identical, and then there is omega subunit. So this is the structure of RNA polymerase. Iska kaam kya hota hai? To add nucleotides, right? Any RNA polymerase. And also to identify the promoter region. But RNA polymerase in itself cannot find promoter region on its own. It takes the help of something called sigma factor. Uske sar pe dekho, there is sigma sign. That sigma helps it to bind to the promoter region, helps it to first find where the promoter region is. What is the promoter region? Is the region where the transcription starts. Okay, the starting point ko dhoondne mein madad karta hai the sigma factor. Okay. Now these subunits, this 5 subunit is called the core enzyme. जब उसमें sigma factor मिल जाता है, then it is called a holoenzyme. Okay, together it is called a holoenzyme. Now this is the structure of the promoter region. We will see here, here this is the starting point of transcription. You will see here it is -1 to +1. So this region is called +1. इसके left में जो भी आता है, we will denote it in negative digits. इसके right side में जो है positively उसको denote करते हैं. It doesn't mean anything, it is just how it is denoted, okay? So to the left of this starting point is called upstream, to the right of it is called downstream. Now to the upstream of it, you can see that there are special regions. In the -10 base pair or 10 base pair area mein, we have something called data box. And over here in the -35 region, we have another sequence that has TTGACA repetition of those sequences. Now those are important. Why? We will see in the next few slides. Let's understand the 3 steps that are there in transcription: initiation, elongation and termination. Initiation में क्या होता है? First, basically what happens is the sigma factor will bind to the core enzyme of RNA polymerase, help it to recognize the promoter region. उसमें bind करके complex बनाता है, and that is called a pre-initiation complex, okay? And that complex is a closed complex, meaning the strands are still stuck together. The 2 DNA strands are still stuck, they are not separated from each other. So that's why it's called a closed complex. Sigma factor क्या करता है? It helps RNA polymerase to bind to the promoter region, right? How? Because it identifies these particular sequences over here. ये जो हमने -35 और -10 base pair area में whatever sequence we saw, it recognizes those sequences and then takes the polymerase to help bind with those areas. So see, this is the promoter region. Here the sigma is binding along with the core enzymes of the polymerase. This is closed. Okay, 2 strands are there. Then comes the unwinding, because RNA polymerase also has another activity called unwindase activity or helicase activity. यहाँ पे 2 strands get separated. So this strand and then that strand. The 2 strands are separated in the sense that only in one region. Okay, this region is called data box. There is repetition of T8, TAA. That region, उस region में start होता है this unwinding of the two DNA strands. So now transcription can start. Okay, it starts from 5 prime to 3 prime. All these nucleotides get added to it. So this is what happens in initiation. पहला nucleotide जो form होता है, that is usually a purine ring, and then there is addition of another nucleotide, the third nucleotide, fourth nucleotide, all in that manner, and they are bound together by PDE or phosphodiesterase bond. So after 8 or 9 nucleotides are added, sigma factor release हो जाता है, and then what happens to this enzyme? It starts to move forward away from the this is the promoter region. It starts to move away from the promoter region to start elongation. It keeps adding new nucleotides. It keeps going along the traveling along the template strand, keeps adding nucleotide and elongates this whole strand. What happens in termination? So before this, you have something called Rho factor over here, right? This is what is used in termination region. So Rho factor, there are two ways in which termination happens in prokaryotes. One is Rho dependent and Rho independent. अब Rho dependent में क्या होता है? There is a protein called Rho. This small p is Latin letter for Rho. Okay? So it has two activity. ATPase activity means breakdown of ATP, and then helicase activity. ATPase activity meaning it breaks down, it causes hydrolysis of ATP. The Rho factor is a protein, so it starts hydrolysis of ATP, and with that energy it starts moving along the template strand, reaches where there is a termination region, like वो yellow color में जो दिख रहा है. They have a sequence of repetition of CA, okay? So उस region में पहुंचने के बाद it starts to perform its helicase activity, और उससे क्या होता है? The new RNA gets separated from DNA. Okay, so termination. दूसरा है Rho independent. इसमें there is no Rho factor involved. What happens is there, the end में जो DNA strand के end में, template strand के end में, we get something like what we see over here. This. ऐसा एक region मिलता है where there is repetition of CG, CG, CG. Okay? And this is the template strand. GC, GC, GC. When this region is reached, this is the new RNA that is being formed. Uske against में ये form हुआ. So you see that the previous one is AGCC and then here is GCC. So they are complementary to each other. तो अब क्या होता है? They start pairing with each other. एक ही strand अपने starts to make a hairpin loop, like a hairpin, like a U shape, because it is not a straight line like this anymore, because this portion starts to pair with this portion and makes this shape. And you will see a poly U over here, a lot of U over here. So this whole structure is formed in the end. This is not stable, and therefore the two breaks. RNA breaks away from DNA, and so we get a new RNA strand. So simple, this is what happens in prokaryotes. Now, eukaryotes are a bit different and much more complex than prokaryotes. So why did we learn about prokaryotes? We understand that when we understand the prokaryotic transcription process, we get an understanding of the eukaryotic as well. At least basic steps we understand how it is done, and it can act as a prototype for our advancement of knowledge. There's a lot of similarities between the two, but there are also basic differences, especially in initiation process. Initiation was simple in prokaryotes. Sigma subunit ने bind किया in the promoter region along with RNA polymerase to start transcription. इसमें in eukaryotes क्या होता है? Along with, there is no sigma factor. So along with the RNA polymerase, there are so many other transcription factors, enhancers, silencers, activators that bind to it to form the pre-initiation complex. Okay? The Tata box, like in the prokaryotes, is also there in eukaryotes, but it is called as Goldenberg-Hogness box. Also, enzyme that is used as in RNA polymerase, there are 3 types in eukaryotes. Okay? Even later on, even after the transcription, there is something called transcription, post-transcriptional modification that happens in the eukaryotes and not much in prokaryotes. Even that is a huge difference we see. Okay? So let's understand RNA polymerase. अब 3 टाइप के RNA polymerase यूज होते हैं in eukaryotes. RNA polymerase 1, 2 and 3. Okay, I have already mentioned them. But today we want to be focusing on mRNA or messenger RNA, synthesis of messenger RNA, so that in here we use RNA polymerase type 2. Okay. So RNA polymerase type 2 itself, you see this is a multi-enzyme complex already containing 12 subunits. In the prokaryote we saw 5 subunits. Already you can see how complex it is, 12 subunits. इसका activation होता है through phosphorylation, okay, of the serine and threonine residue. What kind of amino acid is threonine? Anybody? Please be loud. Anybody volunteer? Essential, semi-essential, non-essential? Essential. What about serine? Anyway, so this polymerase, like polymerase enzyme that was there in prokaryotes, needs to take help from others to recognize the promoter region. So it has to interact with different types of transcriptional factors, activators and enhancers to form, to start transcription, okay? What are those transcriptional factors? Please pay attention in this slide, this is going to be a bit complex. Those are also called general transcription factors, okay, or GTFs. There are many. Over here you will see transcription factor 2A, B, C, D, E, F and H. All of these are used in the eukaryotic transcription process. What is TBP? TBP is Tata binding protein, okay, binds to the Tata region of the promoter. So that is the work. Then there is something called TAF, which is Tata binding protein associated factors. This also binds with TBP. Together TBP and TAF forms the transcription factor 2D. तो जब हम बोलते हैं transcription factor 2D, उसका मतलब है it's a combination of the TBP and TBP associated factors. TF transcription factor 2D का काम क्या होता है? It recognizes the Tata box through this TBP component. And फिर हमारे पास दूसरा आता है transcription factor 2F. F का क्या काम है? It brings the polymerase to the promoter region. Okay. Then we have something called transcription factor 2H, right? Over here H. H से याद रखो helicase activity. Okay. So it causes unbinding of the unwinding of the two chains of the DNA. These factors together binding with the RNA polymerase and the promoter region, they decide whether we should, where the initiation should start, how frequently they should go on, and how they should react to the different elements or signals such as hormonal signals. How gene regulation is happening, is supposed to happen, is decided by all of these factors together. Then there are something called enhancers and silencers along with the transcription factor. So enhancers क्या होता है? There are certain DNA sequences. They are also known as response elements. इसका काम होता है transcription factor के साथ bind करना and activate the process of transcription. Okay. What they do is over here you can see this is the strand. It bends. DNA strand को bend करा देता है so that the different types of transcription factors and other factors that I'm not mentioning over here can interact with the promoter region and with the RNA polymerase. So it activates. Silencers का काम क्या होता है? Just the opposite. It silence the whole transcription process, so gene express नहीं होता. This is the promoter region of the eukaryotic promoter region. So you would see over here is a Tata box, the repetition of TATA, AAA, and over here is called something called CAT box or CA box, CA sequence or CAT box. UGC sequence is there, CA sequence is there. So this is at the -70 base pair area. This is at the between -30 and -20 area. So these are important segments or important sequences that are present in the template strand in the eukaryotic transcription process. So what is the importance? Even these sequences determine how the initiation has to start, where it should start, and how long it should go on. Transcription का initiation कैसे होता है in eukaryotes? Binding of all of these together. Okay, there are two ways it happens. There is formation of pre-initiation complex like we saw in prokaryotes, right? In eukaryotes also we have binding of pre-initiation complex. A complex बनता है with the help of the combination of general transcription factors as well as RNA polymerase. So that complex is called pre-initiation complex, and when it binds to the promoter region, then we start the transcription process. Of this whole complex, how is it formed? There are two theories for it. One is stepwise assembly and one is recruitment hypothesis. Stepwise में क्या होता है? Stepwise all of these transcription process will add. How? पहले there is TATA sequence, right? There TATA binding protein TBP gets attached to it. Okay, it recognizes the TATA sequence. This protein binds to it on the DNA strand. उसके बाद क्या होता है? There is addition of transcription TBP associated factors, so TAF. अब इसने जाके TBF के साथ bind किया, okay? Then because of the binding of this and this, we have the formation of transcription factor 2D, as I said previously. Now all of this is a big complex. To this big complex, there is addition of transcription factor 2B and 2A. Then it makes an even bigger complex. That complex is more stable. The whole complex is then placed on the promoter region. Remember, there is no RNA polymerase here. There is only these proteins gathering together and binding to promoter region. Now comes transcription factor 2F. इसका काम क्या होता है? It brings the RNA polymerase to promoter region. So now ये bind करेगा इस big complex के साथ. Transcription factor 2F brings RNA polymerase to this complex, okay? And then together they go to the promoter region. अब बचा क्या? Transcription factor 2E and H. सारे के सारे bind हो गए. Now this is called a closed complex. Again, because the DNA strands are not separated from each other. Now open complex बनेगा. Open complex कैसे बनेगा? With the help of transcription factor 2H. Because it has helicase activity, वो strands को खोलेगा and it will cause unwinding. Then the polymerase will get a template strand to work on, right? To make new mRNA. Now this transcription factor 2H along with helicase activity, it also has a kinase activity. Kinase क्या करता है? Phosphorylate करता है. And who gets activated with phosphorylation? It's the polymerase enzyme, RNA polymerase. So it not only unwinds the DNA strand, it also activates RNA polymerase. Okay, now RNA polymerase activate हो गया, so it starts to synthesize the new RNA strand. It starts to add nucleotides. After 60 or 70 nucleotides are formed, transcription factor 2E, 2H निकल जाता है वहाँ से, and then RNA polymerase starts to move along like how it did even in the prokaryotic transcription we have seen. Starts to move away from the promoter region along the DNA template strand to start adding more nucleotide to elongate the whole mRNA sequence, mRNA chain. Okay, so this is what happens in elongation. But even in elongation, there are many different factors that are working. I'm not going to details into that. Okay, but throughout the elongation process, the transcription factor 2F remains along with the enzyme. अब इसका भी termination होना है. How does it happen? This is complex. This is not fully known. Okay, so RNA polymerase get activated through phosphorylation. अब उसको inactivate करना है तो dephosphorylation होगा उसका. How does this happen? So RNA polymerase keeps moving along the template strand, right? Starts adding new nucleotides every now and then. फिर क्या होता है? There is a sequence over here in the template strand where we find the repetition of AAU, AAA. तो ये sequence जब आएगा, then we start the termination, this is called termination sequence in that particular DNA strand. When this is exposed, when the RNA polymerase is exposed to this strand, फिर क्या होता है? About 15 bases from this area, it just get cleaved. by itself. This acts as the signal or the sequence that causes cleavage of the RNA, new RNA from the DNA template strand. Therefore, the termination of it. Is this much understood or not? Yes, I've tried to, this is matter of 3 classes, I am taking only in one class, okay? So as basic and as simplified I could, I made it. So if you are listening, you will understand. Now we will talk about post-transcriptional modification. What is post-transcriptional? So post meaning बाद में, after transcription. So transcription के बाद क्या होता है? There is another process for it, okay? This can come in your Viva. If you do not know what these are, at least remember the names of the process, okay? At least ये 3-4 नाम है, उसको याद रखना, you will get the marks. Post-transcriptional modification. After the transcription is done, we get a new RNA strand, right? That is called primary RNA transcript, okay? That can be mRNA, that can be tRNA, that can be rRNA. It can be anything, okay? We are talking about mRNA over here. अब उसको क्या होता है? That is immature, it is unstable, it is quite big. It has to undergo certain modification to become more stable, to do its function properly, and to become mature. उसके लिए there are different processes that happens to that particular strand, after which it can start to form proteins. What are those processes? One is called poly-A tailing, one is called 5' capping, removal of introns, and splicing of exons. Let's understand them. So this is 5' capping. Capping का मतलब क्या हुआ? A cap, टोपी. A cap of what? 7-methyl-guanosine. This is the structure of 7, right? 7-methyl. This is the guanosine, meaning it has no phosphate group. It's a nucleoside. This is the mRNA strand. नया जो RNA बना हमारा, that is the strand. So there is 5' to 5' attachment of this 7-methyl-guanosine cap over the new strand of mRNA. That's why उसको टोपी जैसा पहना दिया, so it's called a capping, okay? This is the triphosphate linkage. Usually we see what? 3 to 5' linkage is there, or 5' to 3' linkage, but this is 5' to 5'. mRNA के 5' में and 7-methyl-guanosine के 5' में we add 3 phosphate groups, therefore triphosphate linkage, okay? Now when this whole thing is added to the mRNA, helps it to get stabilized further, okay? And it is also resistant to many nucleases enzymes. Nucleases क्या करता है? It breaks it, no? We have read this in DNA repair. So it is resistant to many of those nucleases because of the addition of this cap over here. This is the mRNA strand. You would see there is a repetition of A. So what is this? Poly-A tail. Poly means काफी ज़्यादा, and A sequence, adenine sequence is added, which is called poly-A tailing. This sequence of repetition of about 200 adenine nucleotides at the end of the new mRNA is called addition of 3' poly-A tail. उससे क्या होता है? It also stabilizes the mRNA further, and it helps this mRNA to get out of nucleus into the different parts of the cell, and it helps in translation. Translation क्या होता है? When this new RNA strand will start to form protein. That process is called translation, which we will be discussing in the next class. Okay? So अब उसको टोपी पहनाया, उसको tail आ गया. अब next, what do we have? So this is the nucleus. Okay, is happening. This is the new strand. This is the mRNA strand that is formed, the new RNA strand. Okay, which is immature. It's quite big. And then this is the, and because of the tail that is added to it, it can get out of the nucleus into the other parts of the cell for protein synthesis. Okay. Now splicing. So for splicing, I do not know if you have heard about it before. There are certain segments in the new RNA strand that codes for proteins, and there are segments in strands that do not code for proteins. Okay. So what are introns? Introns are the segments of those of the RNA strand which do not code for protein. Okay. So and then exons are the ones that code for protein. हमको क्या चाहिए? Protein चाहिए. So we need only exons. We don't need those introns. Non-coding segments we do not want. So what happens in splicing is there is removal of those strands, those segments of the new RNA which do not code for protein. मतलब introns को निकालो, and then there is joining of the rest of the exons, which is called splicing. So suppose this is the new RNA strand, right? So here we have a segment of exon, let's say it's exon 1, then we have exon 2, here we have an intron in between, okay, intron 1 let's say, then there is exon 3, then we have another intron over here, intron 2, okay. What happens in splicing is, we want to just take exon 1, 2 and 3. We don't want introns. So those get removed. Now there is a gapping in here. So when we add these, then when we add these exons together, now this has become exon 3. There is no intron over here in this strand anymore. So this is called splicing. Splicing actually means joining together of what? The exons, and removal of introns. And the ribonucleoprotein that makes it happen, the complex that helps in splicing is called a spliceosome. Now this whole process is very complex, it's very long, I'm not going to talk about it today. See over here, 2 exons together, intron. So बीच का intron हटा दिया हमने, 2 exons को join किया. There is another way, this is called alternative splicing. What is alternative splicing? इसमें there is different combination of exons to make a diverse group of proteins. अब ये है exon हमने 1, 2, 3 किया, and then if we combine exon 1 plus 3, there will be a different protein formation. If there is exon 3 plus 2, there will be a different combination, a different protein that will come out of this. So this combination of different exons together, splicing of different exons, is called alternative splicing. So here we get from the same mRNA or the same RNA strand, we get different types of proteins. There is a diverse group of proteins produced from the same gene. Okay? So this brings us to the end of this class. Any doubts from this class?